If you happen to be new, my name's Scotty. I'm one of the pastors here at Journey. I'll be teaching today. I want to give you just a little bit of something we call the build update. If you're new with us, our church met in temporary and leased facilities for quite some time. And a little over a year and a half ago, we moved into this facility. We were a much smaller church at the time. We decided to set out and embark to do that. And so our little church decided to set a goal to raise a little over $2 million toward this project. That's a little north of $5 million total. So we bought the property and built the facility. And about once a month, I come and bring you a little bit of update on where we're at with that project, because so many of you have given and sacrificed in such an amazing way throughout the years. And we had a 3-year time frame to raise this money together. It ends in March of 2019, next month, about 6 weeks away. And so many of you have given throughout the years, and we've exceeded $2 million plus. And as of today, to reach our goal, we're $123,213.39 away from that goal. Isn't that great news? Yeah, everybody, thank you for being such amazing and generous givers. I bring this to your attention because obviously we're 6 weeks away, and some of you have been praying about what God would call you to do in giving to this. You're new to Journey, and you've thought about it with your families. And I say this all the time at Journey, we never ask you for anything. We simply ask you to ask God, what should we do about that? Above and beyond our normal giving, should we jump in and be involved with this? So maybe you'll pray about that and see if you should give toward that final leg going through the finish line of raising that money together. And hopefully next month, I really believe we'll be able to celebrate that we've crossed that finish line and reached that goal together as a church. This week particularly is very special to me and to my family. The second week of February 7th of 2007, 12 years ago this week, my family and I moved here to Colorado to help lead Journey and help lead this church. And so we're so grateful to have been a part of that. My wife and I were 31 and 30 when we moved here. Our kids were 6 and 3. We'd never been outside of the South, but we knew God was calling us to lead a church outside the Bible Belt, outside of the South, and God led us to this place. And during our years of youth ministry, we moved quite a bit, like 6 times in maybe 10 years. And we knew that we wanted to move to a place, and we felt like God had given us a heart to move to a city and pastor one local church for a lifetime. Like that was our goal. As a couple. And God led us to this verse. It's in Psalms 107. It hangs in our home. A friend of ours made this for us, and it just says, He led them by a straight way to a city where they could settle. And that has always been an anchor point for us. This is a little picture of my family right before we moved here. Here's what I'd like to highlight is that I had no gray hair. Just jet black hair. That's what teenagers and leading a church will do to you. This is our first Christmas here at Journey in our little neighborhood for the little Christmas card that we sent out. For some reason, we decided we wanted to be the Gap family. I don't know why. Like a stinking Gap commercial. But then 12 years later, this just a couple of months ago, this past Christmas, it's just amazing, to see how much your family changes, your life changes. My son is an enormous orangutan, So I'm not a small guy, and my daughter is beautiful. And so I bring all this to your attention because for us it's really special. And just to indulge for a moment, to be able to honor the Lord and say thank you for letting me be a part of this. Some of you have never seen our old building before, but when I moved here to lead the church, we moved into this old ghetto shopping center. Everybody enjoy that little skull awning right there beside the front door. That was an awesome conversation with the landlord. How did this get approved? And then to see, and that's the reason why I bring you the build update, is just to say thank you. Thank you for all of you who were there with us, sacrificing, believing in what God wanted to do, and then to be able to build this amazing facility. But it's not about this facility. This is just a tool in the hands of God to what? To build people. And so many of you have taken major steps with Jesus this year and in the last year and a half. And that's because of the generosity and the sacrifice of so many. And I found this picture as I was putting this together. And this is just on a Sunday. in our old building, just a great Sunday. We had a couple of services there, and some of you in this room were in that room that day. And then just to fast forward kind of from the same angle in the same building, in another building a few years later with, just thousands of people taking their next steps with Jesus. And we're so grateful to see what God has done in this place. One of my absolute favorite verses is in 1 Thessalonians 5:24. I just remind myself of this so often. The one who calls you, he is faithful, and he will do it. And so I don't know what you came in here carrying today. Like you might be carrying something and it's dark and it's gray to see the horizon, the vision for what's going to happen. Are we going to make it? Maybe your marriage is hanging on by a string. Maybe you're dealing with health challenges, or maybe you've got some conflict with your children. I don't know what you're facing today, but I just want to remind you that he who calls you, he who leads you, he is faithful, and he will do it. He will see you through. The promise still stands. God is faithful. Yeah, you can clap for that. Whenever we bring, just once a month, this little build update, and we throw some numbers up on the screen, people clap. They go, oh, that's nice. It's kind of a golf clap, if we could be honest. It's kind of that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But for my wife and I and our little family, and then there are dozens of others of people who were a part of that initial core group here at Journey. When we arrived here, I was 31 and 30. I was full of passion and all kind of energy. We had $68,000 in debt as a church and $1,000 in the checking account. And I was like, and now I look back at that, 12 years later, and go, what was I thinking? Why did I do that? But it was because God had called us. And you may be facing something in your life right now that seems insurmountable, but if the Lord calls you, he will see you through. What he leads you to, he will lead you through, okay? And so when I give an update of, hey, we just passed $2 million, we're meeting in a facility, 3,000 people were here for Christmas, it is a miracle of God that we survived. And so some of you have met Jesus in this place. Some of you making huge steps. And here's what I hope is that every single time you walk in this building, it's just a building. It'll come and it'll go. But every time you walk in here, I hope that you remember that God is faithful, that God will do work in our life, that God will continue to see us through. Come on, everybody. Yeah. So, good.